What's going on, everybody? Jason here, and today I've got this 2022 Ford Maverick XLT. Right before I jump into this Maverick, just a quick reminder, if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to the channel, as it does help with the algorithm and it also helps support the channel. Now, this Maverick is quite an interesting truck, as you'll see within this video. But let's jump into the different trims that you can get when it comes to the Maverick. You can get the XL, which of course is a base model. You can get this one, which is a XLT, or you can bump it up to the Lariat. And depending on which model you choose, you are going to get different features and options and all of that stuff. But I'm going to be specifically talking about the XLT, so let's jump right into it. When it comes to the safety features on this XLT, standard, you're gonna get your pre-collision assist with automatic emergency braking. However, you can get the Ford Co-Pilot 360 package, which is gonna give you additional safety features such as your blind spot monitoring with cross traffic alert, lane departure warning with lane keep aid, lane keep alter, and driver alert system. Starting things off in the front of this Maverick, you can see it has a unique design and shape to it. Of course, at the bottom, you've got this section where it's kind of open and makes it easier for aerodynamics and all of that stuff. But if you do move up further, you've got kind of like this unique grille going on. Now, you do have your active grille shutters within these. So obviously, again, with the aerodynamic help, those will open and shut. And I like how they have this gray grille bar area that kind of ties into the front headlights. Now, depending on the model that you choose, the color of that grille bar will be different. And of course, as for the headlights themselves, they have kind of like sections to them, which is kind of nice because you've got your turn signals that's within your grille bar. And then at the top, you do have like a LED bar type of a thing going on. And at the bottom, you do have your high beams and all of that stuff. So it's a pretty unique setup when it comes to this truck. One thing that I do wish that this truck had, or at least an option of, are the fog lights, because you obviously do not get it with this truck. Now, taking a look at the Maverick from the side, of course, again, you can see that it has its own unique shape and just the lining of everything. And of course, even though it does look like a traditional pickup truck, it does serve a different purpose, as they're two different vehicles, even though that they look very, very similar. With this one, you've got your black door handles all around, and then you've obviously got your XLT badging on both sides in the front. And because this XLT has the XLT luxury package, you're also going to get your heated body colored side mirrors. And in terms of your wheels, you do have the 17-inch painted aluminum wheels. You do have two other options that you can get if you end up going with the 17-inch unique aluminum wheels, which will give you the all-terrain tires. In the front, like I've shown you at the bottom section, you do kind of have like two squares. Those will be replaced by hooks in the front. As we make our way to the rear of the Maverick, you do have these nice looking tail lights with kind of like a white center area, which kind of breaks it out. And then at the bottom, you do have your hitch setup and of course your trailer wiring and all of that stuff. Also, this truck does have the available 4K tow package. And of course, that's going to allow you to tow a lot more than just the standard without it. So with the tow package, you're going to get your transmission oil cooler, higher capacity radiator, upgraded drive ratio, upgraded cooling fan, and your trailer brake controller. And then on the actual tailgate, of course, you've got the Ford logo and badging. And then right below that, you do have the Maverick badging, which is kind of built right into the tailgate, kind of similar to the F-150s and all of that. Now, just to mention, this has the upgraded available option for the 2-liter engine, but standard, you're only going to get the front wheel drive version of this. Opening up the tailgate, of course. So with this flex bed, your bed is actually going to be about 4.5 feet long and about 53.3 inches wide. This has the XLT luxury package, which is of course going to give you your spray and liner. It's also going to give you your LED bed lighting, which is very convenient, of course. And this does have 10 tie downs, so you have a lot of flexibility when it comes to carrying your cargo and whatnot. Also, a part of your XLT luxury package, you're also going to get your bed tie down locking rails, which you're going to see on both sides. So they're adjustable and you can move things around. And then of course, you do have an outlet at the back as well. Another optional feature that this Maverick has is your manual rear sliding window. Now, as we make our way to the interior of this Maverick, like I said, this is a very, very unique looking truck, because as you can see, you've got a bunch of different things going on in the interior. You've got some blues, whites, oranges, granite colors, all sorts of stuff. So a definitely very interesting looking truck from the interior, of course. But as you can see on the door itself, you've kind of got not a full handrest like how you typically have. It's kind of half and half, and that's because you have a ton of storage room at the bottom, especially where the cup holders are. As you can literally literally put a full-size bottle on there, and you can also grip the handle to close the door in different ways. So again, very unique when it comes to this truck. And as for the rear seats themselves, they are fully cloth, even in the front, of course. That's the only option that you can get in this truck. And as you can see on the seats, again, you've got different tones, different shades going on, but it does look very nice and unique, of course, like I keep mentioning, because I've never seen a truck from the interior how this particular one is. But regardless of that, these seats are still very comfortable. And of course, in the center handrest, when you pull that down, you do have space for 2 more cup holders. Also, these rear seats do fold all the way up, and you have a ton of storage underneath them. So storage in this truck is very well utilized. And as you can see here, these are pretty deep storage spaces. Of course, behind the driver and passenger seats, again, these are fully cloth seats. And behind the passenger seat, you do have a mat pocket for additional storage. And on the center handrest for the rear passengers, you do have 2 USB ports and a 120 volt outlet right there. As we make our way to the front of the Maverick, the door trim setup is exactly like the rear, of course, but of course in the front here you do have speakers, where in the back you had them in the pillars up by the rear sliding window. And again, you can see just how unique and how much space is utilized within the cup holder area to put literally whatever you want to, any type of a bottle or whatever you need to. And as for the front seats, they're exactly like the rear seats, as you can see. And I like how, even though that these seats are cloth seats, they have kind of like this design type of a thing going on, if you know what I'm talking about. And of course, you've got the orange stitching. And because this has your XLT luxury package, your front seats are also heated seats. Also part of the XLT luxury group is that your driver's seat is a power seat. And down below, nothing too fancy, just your foot pedals. And to the left of your foot pedals, you do have your hood latch release. Above that, you do have your trailer brake controller, which I mentioned is a part of your 4K tow package. And if you move above that, you have all of your lighting controls for the front, the bed, dimmers, and all of that. And as for the steering wheel, this is a manual adjustable steering wheel. Now, as you enter into the Maverick, you do have your dashboard covered in a plastic material, of course, and then you've got your speakers in both corners. Now, even on the vents themselves, you do have orange trim, which is throughout this whole vehicle. And then again, you do have that nice white surrounding around the vent. And as for the center gauge cluster, and in the center, you do have different options that you can have in front of you, so you can scroll through a bunch of different things and have whatever you need to have in front of you. As for the steering wheel itself, because again, this is the XLT luxury package, you are going to get your leather steering wheel, which is also heated. On the left side of the steering wheel, you do have controls for your cruise control settings, and then your volume buttons right below that. On the right side of the steering wheel, you do have controls for your center gauge cluster, which you can move things around like I've shown you. And then right below that, you do have your Bluetooth settings. Behind the steering wheel on the left side, you do have your indicators, high beams, and then you can also turn your blind spot monitoring on and off. And on the right side behind the steering wheel, you have controls for your windshield wipers and all of that good stuff. Moving along to the center handrest, this isn't going to be anything spectacular as a ton of space or anything. It has a decent amount of space, as you can see when you open up the section, so you can still put some things in there, but of course, like I mentioned, it's not going to be like how it is on the pickup trucks. Moving to the center console here, you can see there's orange inserts in many places, so you can get the theme of the vehicle where you got orange stitching and all of that. So you have small little pockets of storage area, and then of course you have these 4 buttons here where you have different drive modes that you can put it in. You can turn your traction control on and off, your auto stop start button, and then of course your brake hold as well. Moving further along, you do have your electronic parking brake there, and in front of that you do have your gear selector knob along with your 2 cup holders for the front. Moving above that, you have more orange pieces here, and then of course you got your storage for your phone and other things that you want to put in there. Above that, you do have 2 more USB ports in the front, and then right next to that you do have a 12 volt adapter. Above that, you've got your typical heating and cooling, ventilation, temperature controls, along with your heated seats, heated steering wheel, and your passenger heated seat buttons. If you move further up, you've got this huge white panel, of course, and then of course you've got your media controls and all of that, along with a 8-inch touchscreen. Beside your touchscreen, touchscreen, you do have additional storage. There's a ton of small little storage pockets all around this vehicle, and I wish for this one that they just made the screen a little bit bigger. It would have been nice. On the touchscreen itself, it's nothing too crazy. You've got obviously your home section where you have a dual split screen section area, whatever you want to call it. You've got your audio section, you've got your phone setup section, your applications, and then of course your settings where you can fine tune other things of the vehicle. Right behind your screen on the dashboard, you have additional little pocket of storage. Moving up, you've got of course your rear view mirror. Above that, you do have just a very minimalistic looking section. You just have your interior dome lighting buttons and then some storage that you can kind of drop down by pushing that section in. Moving over to the passenger side, when you open up your glove department, you do have actually a decent amount of room to put whatever you need to put inside of there. As for the key fob for this Maverick, I really wish they had push to start, but it is a typical key ignition setup. But on the key fob, you've got your lock, unlock, remote start, panic button, and then of course on the rear, you just have your Ford logo. As for what powers this Maverick, standard will be your 2.5 liter hybrid engine, which will be a front wheel drive system. However, you can upgrade to the available 2 liter EcoBoost engine. This is a 8-speed automatic, of course, and an all-wheel drive system, which is going to be producing 250 horsepower with 277 foot-pound of torque. And as for towing with your Maverick, this does have the 4K towing package, of course, which is going to allow you to tow 4,000 pounds. As for the window sticker for this 2022 Ford Maverick XLT, you can see up above all of the standard equipment that comes with the vehicle, and then below that you have your area where it shows your optional equipment, and this pretty much has everything that you can get when it comes to the XLT. And as for the price, this is in Canadian dollars minus any dealer discounts or manufacturing discounts if they are being offered at the time. And that's it for this 2022 Ford Maverick XLT. Let me know in the comments down below, do you love this or do you hate this?